Our country is a place that craves for freedom once again. The torture and the fighting needs to end here for all men. To our homes, and to our work, and to each other. We owe it to ourselves to join together hand in hand. Our past is what strengthens and ties us firmly to this land. To our homes, and to our work, and to each other. Most of all, oh Estonia, may you live forever in our hearts until the day we see our fingers touch what our minds have dreamed. A better life and love for you and me. And I want to make a difference, fill our country with love. I want to see a better day, the day that we rise above. Oh Estonia, may you live forever in our hearts until the day we meet. That's what I'm fighting for. What if we let our wildest dreams awaken once again? We had some faith and trusted this was more than just pretend. For our homes, for our work, and for each other, that liberty could grow out of the things we thought were dead. And fear put to the fire made us stronger within. To our home, to our fear, and to each other, but most of all, oh Estonia, may you live forever in our hearts until the day we see.
Well, good evening. How's everybody doing? Yes, we are live. Welcome to ESTO RAISER 2021. It's been going on all day. This is now the evening portion of the festivities. It's been really fun. It's reminded me a lot about being Estonian. And tonight we're going to talk a lot about Estonians, Estonia, the Eesti Majad, the Estonian houses, etc. Oh, I'm Andy Valvur, or in Estonian, Andi Valvur, or in real Estonian, Andrus Valvur. But whichever one works for you is fine by me. I'll be your host. I'll be popping in and out of here, introducing videos. There's a lot of great stuff that you'll see tonight. I hope you'll stick around for it. It's well worth it. If you have some Estonian in you, you definitely will smile at a lot of the stuff that you're about to see. This is really a celebration of Estonia, being Estonian, being from all over the planet, Estonians. We're going to hear from a lot of people, especially the Estonian government now has a specific position that deals with the väliseestlased around the world. That's how important they think this is. So, you know, we have been here and we have kept the Estonian tradition going. Our parents kept the Estonian tradition going. My parents kept my Estonian tradition going, even though when I didn't understand why I had to, and I was a real annoying little kid, when I used to say, well, why do I have to learn this dead language? My mom used to say, sa kunagi ei tea. So, and now, ma saan eesti keelt rääkida. So, you know, God bless mom. All right, first of all, we're going to kick this off with a little speech from our president, the Eesti Rahvuskomitee Ühendriikides president. She watch the video, you really like it. Here up next is Marju Rink-Abel.
Tere tulemast! Mul on tõesti hea meel, et olete ühinenud meiega täna. Oksjon ja sellega seotud programm on uus algatus Rahvuskomiteel ja loodan, et see teie meelest õnnestub. Siht on Ameerikas Eesti majade ja maa-alade heaks fondi loomine, et neid saaks korras hoida ja säiliksid. et järgmised generatsioonid saaksid ka neid kasutada Eesti tegevuseks. Welcome to the Estonian American National Council's ESTO RAISER. ESTO RAISER is such a thought-provoking phrase, for it captures so many aspects of what we are trying to do today. It carries many connotations. ESTO RAISER is a fundraiser. We are raising money for a fund to support our Estonian houses and facilities, which are in constant need of attention and maintenance. These are the legacies of our parents and grandparents, and we want to ensure their survival for future generations. The term ESTO RAISER also calls to mind barn raising, when we come together as a community to work on and support Estonian houses, our talgud. Other associations, ESTO raising, to raise the profile of ESTOs. We are showcasing performers, artists, entrepreneurs here to introduce them and their works. We want to raise and praise all things Estonian. This event can remind us of their importance to us as we look at the talent we have and browse the auction items related to our culture. And finally, we want to raise knowledge about the Council itself. At the end of one of our recent DANC board meetings, after we had gone over our activities and initiatives, I said that I was stunned by looking at everything that EANC does. While we are in the middle of it, we don't realize all that we do. But probably one thing that we do not do as well as we should is toot our own horn. I often get feedback that people don't know what the Council does. So let me give you some highlights. This auction supports one facet of our activities, supporting our culture and heritage. Our parents and grandparents knew that we needed our own places where we could come together. They built Estonian houses and purchased land for our activities. We need to ensure that these are preserved for future generations. The purpose of this auction is to establish a fund specifically to support requests to maintain these facilities. EANC has all along responded to such requests for assistance from a number of different Estonian houses and facilities. What is new is establishing a dedicated funding source. This year, the Council re-established the Henrik Visnapuu Literature and Culture Award, with the first awardees to be announced in January 2022. The purpose of the award is to showcase Estonian literary and cultural achievements, especially abroad, outside of Estonia. We are looking forward to seeing who will be the first awardees. An initiative of one of our younger council members is the establishment of a mentoring program for Estonian American youth. Council members have signed up in their areas of expertise or interest to see if they can be linked up with youth with similar interests. Karl Grabbi has taken the initiative to get this going. The Council has funded films and books about Estonia and its history. Among these are one which you are all probably familiar with, the film The Singing Revolution, which was warmly received in Estonia and played on PBS stations in the US several years ago. We are now helping fund The Singing Revolution, the musical, which will open soon on stage in Los Angeles. Tickets to the opening are an auction item. We have supported all of Helga Meritz's documentary films on Estonian refugees, including the upcoming one on Seabrook Farms, New Jersey, which sponsored many displaced Estonians in the early 1950s. Without EANC financial backing, the 4-part series on Estonia in the PBS series, This is America and the World, would not have been filmed and shown. Introducing Estonia within the United States is part of our mission. We are proud to have published the history of Estonian Americans covering 50 years from 1945 to 1995. A copy of this 550-page book is an auction item. EANC hosted a virtual Estonian Independence Day program this year, celebrating our communities and accomplishments, which received many thousands of views. Our many thanks go to all who participated in the program, and especially to Valev Laube for his technical expertise in helping put that together, and also for his help today. EANC was asked to represent Estonian Americans in the Estonian government's recent initiative to unite Estonians globally and to develop a program to support Estonian language, culture, and activities throughout the world. We have taken part in many discussions and reviews and hope that the program will be approved by the Estonian government by the end of this year. And we continue our work in Washington, together with our Baltic counterparts and others, to ensure that issues that touch on Estonia are brought to the fore and receive needed support in Congress and elsewhere. Helping maintain the security and well-being of Estonia has been a part of our mission from the beginning. And speaking of the beginning, next year the Council celebrates its 70th anniversary. We hope that we can keep going on for at least that long into the future. We are a volunteer-based organization and will be holding elections to the Council next year. Please help ensure that we do continue by encouraging interested candidates to step forward when the call comes. I want to thank the donors to the auction and all who are participating in today's program. Special thanks to the auction organizing committee, to the Estonian houses and societies who are participating, and especially to Andy Valvur, who is donating his time and skills to making sure that all runs smoothly. Please enjoy the program and place your bids to help our Estonian houses and homes.
Well, there we go. Thank you, Marju. Yeah, it is thankless work, and people work all day. They put a lot of time into this to keep our Estonian things going. And Marju has been doing this a long time. But it's good to know that, earlier, we had a conversation, we had a call in from Estonia, from Tallinn. Actually, I think she was in Haapsalu. And we had a call with Kate Spiegel, who is now the, it's a real mouthful, and I'm going to have to read it because I learned how to say it all, but it was Välisministeeriumi üleilmse eestluse poliitika nõunik. She's a counselor, and she's the one who is now, the Estonian government has a naiskond, a team of 3 women who look out for the Estonian diaspora around the world. And they're very excited about what we're doing, and we mean a lot to them. So it's nice that all the stuff we're doing here is finally getting noticed. And as I said earlier, Marju has been doing this a long time. You know, Marju has been contributing her time for years. But what heartens me is that the younger generation is doing the same. And I'm going to introduce you to a couple of them right now. First of all, from Chicago, I would like you to meet Karl Grabbi, who is the big mover and shaker at the Estonian House in Chicago. Let's hear from Karl.
Tere! Minu nimi on Karl Herbert Grabbi ja ma praegu elan Chicagos. Ma kasvasin üles idarannikul Washington DC's, käisin Baltimoori Eesti koolis, Järvemetsa laagris, Suvekodulaagris ja palju veel. Hetkel elan ma Chicagos ja olen aktiivne kogukonna liige siin. Ma olen Chicago Eesti kooli juhataja, Chicago Eesti Maja nõukogu liige, Chicago Eesti Kultuuriseltsi nõukogu liige. Now, over to English. My name is Karl Grabbi. I'm a proud member of the Estonian American community. My focus over the years upon graduating university and entering the workforce has been investing in our youth, in their education, in their mentorship. I believe Estonian youth hold the key to our collective future and ensuring that our Estonian community continues to flourish and prosper. And as such, I've committed my time to the Chicago Estonian School as the school's principal. Last year I taught there, and imparting knowledge to the students such as history, culture, music, theater, dance is of the utmost importance to our community, as the youth truly will take us into the future confidently. Through ERKU, the Estonian American National Council, I helped lead the launch of the Estonian Mentorship Network, which is a community of ERKU EANC members who provide robust mentorship to Estonian American youth across the United States, ages 18 to 35. We help them find internships, jobs, prepare for their tough interviews, and connect with the broader Estonian community. Everybody could use some help, and our network is there and available to help Estonian youth with whatever their goals and dreams might be. And the reason I invest and give back to the youth is because I was once one, and many mentors in the Estonian community showed me the way, provided me with tools and resources, helped me sharpen my language skills, and it opened many doors to the Estonian community, not only in the US, but back home in Kodu Eesti as well. The community has been very supportive, and I'm issuing a call to action to all Estonian Americans across the United States to take on the personal responsibility, long-term vision, and long-term thinking of investing in our youth. Please commit some time, energy, passion, and heart in ensuring that the educational, social, and cultural resources are there and plentiful for our youth. This will help us continue as a dynamic, thriving community that exudes warm, collaborative, and inspiring energy and pushes the Estonian community into the 21st century with lots of momentum. So let's all get together, üheskoos, kõik koos. Lähme edasi tulevikku.
Tere, ma olen Vivianne Malmgren, olen 25 aastat vana ja olen RQ juhatusel. So I'm going to share my video today in English, just to get the largest audience, about ESTOs and the importance of how to carry on our traditions and our cultures to the younger generations. So for me, a huge part of Eesti kultuur is the language. So I went to Eesti kool when I was little in the Baltimore Eesti Maja. And I think Estonian houses and Eesti Majad are some of the most important things we can have in exposing children to peers, to friends, to language, to activities where it's a fully immersive experience. Another thing I think that is similar in that regard is the laagrid, right, going to camp. So for example, Pillilaagri and Segakoor were both places that I went growing up, and that's some of how I met my lifelong friends who are eestlased, who I've now traveled internationally with, and who I can also call up and know that, hey, even if we have different places where we are with our language, we can talk with each other and encourage each other and feel comfortable in that capacity. And also it's a great way for us when we're young to meet some of the older generations who volunteer and are involved as well. So Overall, I think that's really huge for expanding our network, right? Because we've got such a small group of people, but we're so spread out across different places in the United States and also globally.
Wow. So that was Karl Herbert Grabbi and Vivian Weiken Malmgren. And that's the future. These are kids, and I call them kids because I have the gray hair. I can do that now. They're taking Estonia's, they're doing the Estonian thing into the future and keeping the Estonian spirit going. And that's really, really important. So I want to thank them both for just, putting it out there and putting their hearts on the line. And it sounded good. All right, so now let's get this Estonian fundraiser on the road and let's get going. I need glasses because I can't see anything anymore. I usually work in front of people, and I guess I am working in front of people, but you're kind of there. So I'm going to assume that there's thousands paying attention to what I'm saying. We're going to, over the next hour or two, we're going to be taking a look at, different Eesti majad, Estonian houses, and maa-alad in the US. We're going to be hearing from people who have been an integral part of those communities, and maybe some surprise greetings from some people in Eesti who had visited them over years. Now, our first stop for me is kind of it's sentimental. We're going to go to Lakewood, New Jersey. It's one of the oldest Estonian houses, which still hosts events year round. I mean, they're busy. They're doing all kinds of stuff. And for me, it was really my first touch with the larger Eesti community, because I went to Koguja, the Suurlager, back in 1967. And it was great because that's where I learned how to swear in Estonian. My parents sent me there to sort of improve my Estonian language, and boy, did it. Anyway, I was in the car coming back from the airport. They said, well, so, kuidas oli laager? Ma vaatasin, kuradi mõnus. And they went, excuse me? So anyway, all right. Our first stop will be, like I said, in Lakewood, and the Estonian, the Lakewood Eesti Maja is cherished by so many for good reason, because the people, the food, the atmosphere. It's also great to see not only the Lakewood Estonian School, but also the annual gathering at the Kokkutulek, the Estonian schools in the US that Lakewood hosts. These weekends are also called pärimuspäevad, as the children learn about their cultural heritage, as did I. One thing they learn about is the traditional Estonian instrument, the kannel. And just like the Estonian folk characters Vanemuise did, the kids learn how to play the kannel, including Kungla rahvas. In our auction, we have 2 kannelid up for bid. So please have a look at our culture's beloved musical instruments. And bid, come on, raise some money. Let's raise some money for this. And we can do this, okay? Now, up next is we're gonna hear from the hold on a second, I'm doing lots of technical stuff here because I got too many screens going on right now. First of all, we're gonna hear it's a lovely video. Take a look at this. This is the Kadrina Segakoor.
Ühesõnaga, kui me Lakewoodi sinna Eesti majja jõudsime, siis tegelikult kogu see ümbrus tekitas sellise tunde, nagu me oleksime siinsamas Kadrina ligidal, Läänemere ääres, Vainopal, mida meie Kadrina rahvas kõige rohkem kohana teab. Ehk siis kogu see liiv ja kogu see õhkkond seal oli hästi kodune. Eesti maja ise oli minu arvates hästi kodune, kõik need toidud olid hästi kodused ja hetkekski ei tekkinud tunnet, et me tegelikult oleme Eestimaalt nii kaugel ja teiselt poolt ookeani. See hingus, mis selles majas oli oli väga sarnane sellega, mis meil praegu siin on meie Kadrina rahvamajas.
Et kui Kadrina Segakooril oli plaan Ameerikasse minna ja külastama siis New Yorgis ja lähikonnas elavat eestlaskonda, andes neile Segakoori kontserte, siis selleks, et üks selline asi õnnestuks, peaks sul olema oma koht seal olemas, kellega sa suhtled, oma inimene sul olemas, kellega suhtled ja minu kogemustest Eestimaja Lakewoodis ja Helika ja kogu see seltskond seal oli meile väga heaks pidepunktiks nii hommikust õhtusse kui õhtust hommikusse. Ehk siis nii kontserdipaigana, suhtluskohana kogukondade vahel kui ka vahva õhtu järgmise päevana, mida siis seal kohalikus laagris koos veedetud sai ja suheldud ning kogemusi vahetatud ja mõtteid.
Mina mõtlen tänutundega tagasi nendele toredatele vanaprouadele, kes olid nagu vanaema rollis. Olekski läinud nagu vanaema juurde, et nad olid sõbralikud, hästi külalislahked ja ma pean tunnistama, et ta on siinkohal Urve Põhi, tervitan siin, et meie sõprus on siiamaani kestnud, aitäh selle eest.
Mina küll ei käinud Lakewoodis koos Kadrina Segakooriga, aga minul õnnestus käia tänu Eesti-Ameerika heatahtlikule seltsile. Olin sellest Metsajärve laagrist tervelt 2 nädalat. Nagu siin eelmainijad juba ütlesid, et hästi kodune tunne. Männid, liiv ja tohutu kuumus oli aasta 99 suvel.
Nimi tuli. Allan Hillar Laupa. Et jah, tema vanaema nagu läks siit. Ja vanaema õpetas talle eesti keele selgeks. Ja ta oli nii Eesti fänn ja et ta käis siin lausa ülikoolis. Ja korra ta käis isegi minu juures siin, laenasin talle autot ja ta käis siin oma sugulastel külas Eesti peale. Kõva saunakütti oli. Ja et tervitusi saunaküttile.
Ma mõtlesin oma suguvõsa peale ja see on samamoodi, et kui suguvõsal on oma maakoht, kus kohe regulaarselt koos käia, siis need suguvõsad püsivad koos ja nende sidemed on tugevamad. Kui see koht ära kaob, siis need paratamatult ajaga need sidemed murduvad, lähevad katki ja need ei jätku enam. Et selles mõttes on see kohal on väga oluline tähtsus sidemete hoidmiseks, eriti nagu mingi ühise kogukonna jaoks.
Vaata natukene peab ikka mingi ruumi või sellist kohta olema, kus rahvas käiks koos, et sa saad sellel hetkel ju eesti keeles rääkida ja suhelda ja seda edasi anda, seda emotsiooni just. Aga seal on, ütleme niimoodi, et Eesti maja või selline, see annab selle õhustiku just, et sa saaksid just niimoodi olla eestimeelsed seal.
Ja mis nagu mulle seal sellist head meelt tegi just, et tegelikult on seal tulnud juba teine põlvkond, kes hoiab seda ja see tunnetus, et seda noort ja aktiivset verd oli seal nii mõnusalt.
Wow. Lakewood Eesti Maja, it's a real special place. And seeing those pictures again reminds me of my first time there because, you know, out on the West Coast, grew up in San Francisco and we had an Eesti Selts, a small Eesti Selts, but, you know, the East Coast, that was really where stuff was happening. The New Yorki Eesti Maja, the Baltimore Eesti Maja, you know, then there was Toronto, which was really huge, and Montreal had a little bit. So for me to visit and see all of that ESTO happening, and you know, it made you proud, made you want to be part of it, and learn more. And it did improve my Estonian, believe it or not. And you know, going to camp and lager and scouted and I used to be an American Boy Scout. And then my parents said, "You want to go to the big camp in New Jersey at Järvametsä?" And I went, Well, I guess, I mean, whatever. And they said, yeah, well, there's, half the camp is Boy Scouts and half this camp is Girl Guides. I said, hello? Half the camp is what? Oh, yes, I'll be going to Järvemetsa. And, being kids, all the Boy Scouts found a way to the girls' camp. And every night there was patrols by the Vanem Juhtid, and they were trying to keep us apart. Yeah, good luck with that. But we found ways because we're Boy Scouts. That's what we do. All right. Anyway, great memories, great stories. So where am I here? I've got to look at my script here and see what's going on. What's up next? We're going to that's right, we're going to the lake. Now we're going to go to the actual Lakewood Eesti Maja, and this is a really cool video, so watch this.
Tere tulemast Lakewoodi Eesti Majja. Lakewoodi Eesti Maja asub Jackson, New Jersey's. Seisan siin meie maja ilusa sildi juures ja tulge, ma viin teid sisse, kus saate näha meie maja lähemalt. Mina olen Elika Dishoo ja olen olnud Eesti Maja president viimased 5 aastat. Ja tulge, ma näitan teile meie maja. Siin on meie saal, suur ja ilus saal, kus siis asuvad seinte peal näete palju Eesti kunstnike maalitöid. Ja kui me lähme lava juurde, laval on meil väga hinnaline ja armas klaver ja selle klaveri annetasid meile Baltimoori eestlased. Meie Lakewoodi Eesti Majas toimub seeniorite ring ja toimub Eesti kool. Seeniorite ring toimub kord kuus, iga 3. kolmapäev kella 2-st 4-ni või 5-ni ja Eesti kool toimub iga teine reede õhtuti siis, kus kella 6-st 9-ni, kus siis õpetajad õpetavad lapsi algkooliruumides ja lapsevanemad saavad siis kohvikus aega veeta. Ja kutsun uusi liikmeid, meil on kindlasti oleks vaja uusi lapsi ja rohkem senioreid ringi ja lapsi kooli, nii et palun tooge oma lapsed kooli ja sellega te toetate meie maja. Nii et tere tulemast Lakewoodi Eesti Majja ja peatse kohtumiseni.
Merle Jalakas
ja me oleme esinenud paljudes Eesti kogukondades USA's,
Seattle'is,
Portlandis,
San Franciscos,
Atlantas,
Chicagos,
Washingtonis,
Bostonis. Meil oli au külastada New Yorki, Chicago ja Lakewoodi Eesti maju,
kus meil võeti väga soojalt ja südamlikult vastu. Aitäh teile!
Saime teile külakustiks tuua Eesti kultuuri.
Ja Eesti on imeline maa, kus räägitakse imelist eesti keelt. Hoidke seda!
Hindame väga kõrgelt teie panust hoida Eesti kultuuri.
Kuidas käime käsi?
Loomuda, kui tahab tüütavast leida kärast.
Loomuda võin järgest vaikses ärast, selle pärast puhkusel vedame kõik Viljandis, sest see just ongi paradiis.
siin on meie Lakewoodi Eesti Maja kohviku osa ja baar, kus siis reede õhtuti saab kohvikust maitsvaid suupisteid, suppi, pirukaid, kooke ja siis baarist nagu ikka karastavaid jooke. Ja siin juba istuvad meil täna, et armsad eestlased, liikmed, külalised ja siin on meie Lakewoodi parim kokk, baarman, asepresident Erik Must.
Tere! Kõik tunnevad mind tegelikult. Selleks inimesed tulevad ja ütlevad, et Erik, kuidas sul käsi käib? Ja minu abikaasa ütleb, kes see on? Ma ei tea, aga ta tunneb mind. Ma olen siin eluaeg elanud Lakewoodis. Ma olen Lakewoodi kodanik. Ma arvan, tuleb nüüd oktoobris 63 aastat. Mu ema ja isa olid aktiivselt siin, Harri ja Hilda. Ja kui mina olin hästi väike, siis nendel oli station wagon. Tulime Eesti Maja juurde, ema läks köögitööle, isa töötas, tegi mis iganes ta tegi ja siis kui õhtul läks hiljaks, siis pansid meid magama autosse. See on kui kaua ma olen siin olnud. Ma olen endiselt olnud ka president 2 korda, esimene kord 1 aasta, teine kord 3 aastat, peale Priit Parmingut. Ja nüüd ma suurem jagu teen tööd köögis. Mina olen sunnitud, et hapukapsasuppi tegema ja nad kutsuvad mind hapukapsa king. Selleks ma teen nii palju seal kapsaid iga kord ja muu toituga. Mina ja Herikat oleme koos tööl siin kogu aeg. Mul on teisi head abilisi nagu Raivo ja me teeme nii, kuidas on vaja. Me loodame, et rohkem inimesi tulevad, et meid aitama selleks. Meil on kunagi ei ütle kellegile, et nad ei tohi teha, nad võivad lahkelt siia, nad ei pea juhatuses olema, ainult nõus tööd tegema. Ja see peab kogu aeg olema ja muidu see töö läheb edasi ja nagu sa ütlesid, et ilma imbi rääkis enne, et ilma imbita ma arvan, et me oleks kadunud ja temal on nii suur ettepanek, et tööd siin teha ka ja aidata, et tema on senioritega kogu aeg. Nemad tulevad üks kord kuus, kolmapäeval nemad tulevad siia, meil on Eesti kool ja meil on igat sorti asju ja lahkel tuleme, kutsume teid.
Meil on abi vaja, meil on liikmeid vaja, nii et palun tulge Lakewoodi ja täname Erkut kogu abi eest, toetuste eest, millega ta on meid aidanud.
Ja kindlasti.
Nii et elagu eestlased Lakewoodis ja üle Ameerika ja üle maailma.
Ja kõik saatan terviseid kõik minu sõpradele, nad kõik tunnevad mind ja nad võivad lahkelt siia tulla, kunas iganes nad tahavad. Loodame, et me näeme teid endisete pidudel ja so come on down. Nii nagu nad ütlevad.
Nägemist.
Bye bye.
The Lakewoodi Eesti Maja, great. And thank you to everybody who took part in that video. And Erik Must. And for your information, if you wanna learn about the hapukapsasup, Erik's hapukapsasup, it was on earlier today and it's on YouTube. And I highly recommend that we do that, or that you do that, because hapukapsasup, it's part of our culture. All right, so it's important. We appreciate the younger generation and what they do and how they keep things going and how they move things along and take us into the future. But it's also important to acknowledge and to thank those that came before us and started it all. The people that went out to a barren patch of dirt out in New Jersey in a town called Lakewood and said, we can do something with this. We can build something here. Or the people who, went to, a really tough part of Los Angeles and said, yeah, we can put an Eesti Maja in here. And, and they did. And even in New York, now 33rd Street, 34th Street in New York is cool. Didn't used to be. So anyway, and it's important to give thanks and to look back and remember those who came before us. And so, and those specifically would be Edataps, Unotaps, and Imbisep. Let's take a look at this video.
Tere tulemast Lakewoodi Eesti Majja, mis asub õieti Jackson, New Jersey's, aga ta on Lakewood, kuna see nimi sai talle pandud juba nii palju aastaid tagasi. Mina olen Lakewoodis elanud üle 72 aasta peaaegu ja tegutsenud siin, vaeva näinud, rõõmu saanud ja see on olnud minu teine kodu, kuna ma olen elanud Lakewoodis ja Lakewoodi järgmises linnas Farmingdale'is ja täielikult lakewoodlane, aga muidugi peaasi eestlane. Ma räägin teile natukene, mida ma olen üles kirjutanud endale meeldetuletuseks, et kuidas Lakewood meid vastu võttis. Mina tulin Lakewoodi oma vanematega, mu isa, kelle nimi oli Ferdinand Tamm ja minu võõrasema. Me asusime Lakewoodi 1949. aastal, 49. Lakewood oli siis juba nii kaugele jõudnud, et meil oli see väikene maaplats, kus me oleme, see ei ole nii väike. Ja see plats oli omatud Konstantin Lahe poolt, kelle maja oli kõrval. Ja tema oli see, kes andis Lakewoodi eestlastele selle terve maa-ala. Nii et me eluaeg oleme olnud temale tänulikud, muidugi ta kahjuks on surnud ammu. Aga tema oli see, kes alustas siis meile eestluse Lakewoodis. Ja muidugi siis elasid siin, mida meie kutsume vanad eestlased. Need eestlased, kes olid Eestist juba Ameerikasse tulnud 1926. aastal ja niimoodi. Meie uued eestlased, kes tulime Ameerikasse, me leidsime koha ja see oli Lakewood, kuhu me kõik siis lõpuks kogunesime. Aastate järele meid oli teatud ajal üle 530 perekonna, kellel oli Lakewood adress, aga muidugi need kõrvallinnad nagu Lakehurst ja nii edasi, nendes elasid palju eestlasi ka. Nii et Eesti Maja rõkkas, et 49. aastal saabusid esimesed DP'd, displaced persons, teiste sõnadega, kes võtsid osa Lakewoodi tegevusest. Tegevuskorralduseks oli juba moodustanud peotoimkond, kuhu kuulus näiteks Leo Haus. 49. aastal saabusid perekonnad Valgemäe, Nõukas, Kroon, Lübeck, Tagulaid, Mustad, see on Harri ja Riita Must, oma poja Peetriga, minu vanemad ja mitmed teised. 51. aastal, kui Konstantin Laht, kes ma nimetasin, oli see, kes omas selle maa ja kinkis selle Lakewoodile, kui tema andis oma esimehe koha üle, siis nüüd ütleme nendele uustulnukatele, kes meie kõik olime. ja siin hakkas siis esimest korda 52. aastal Segakoor. Ja siia tulid noored poisid, niisugused minuga üheealised, kes me olime kõik Saksamaal koos laagrites olnud. Nii et lõpuks leikud kasvas ja edenes haruldaselt. Me võtsime juba 53. ja 4. aastal saime viinaloa Leikudi Eesti Majale ja siis hakkasid suuremad peod, kuhu tulid siis eestlased igalt poolt New Yorgist, Connecticutist, Baltimoorest, kus aga oli eestlasi ja nad kogunesid kõik pidudeks ja eriti suve ajal Leikudi.
Et meie südamed on ikka jäänud Leikudi. Me ei taha katsume edasi.
Me loodame teie noored, kes siin olete ja austate seda Eesti Maja, et teil on jõudu ja jaksu seda edasi kanda nii kaua, kui te jõuate vähemalt. Et eestlastel oleks koht, kuhu tulla kokku vähemalt 1 või 2 korda aastas. Ja need inimesed, kes siin ümbruskonnas New Jersey's elavad, tulevad kokku ikkagi, kui on mingisugune pidustus. Nii et see maja on püsinud hästi ehitatud igalt pidi, igalt poolt vastu võetav. Nii et ei oska rohkem öelda, kui tulge Leikudi.
Tervitan teid Leikudi Eesti Majast. Minu nimi on Impi Sepp. Ma elan väga lähedal Leikudile ja olen tegutsenud siin 22 aastat, aga juba käinud siin aastal 1953 esimest korda. Ma jõudsin Ameerikasse 1950 ja sellest ajast peale on perekonnale tähtis olnud Eesti tegevus, Eesti majad ja me elasime New Yorgis. Ma võtsin osa Eesti tegevusest Eesti majas New Yorgis juba teismelisena, võimlesin ja laulsin ja tantsisin ja pidasin pidus. Kohtasin oma abikaasat Eesti majas, abielusime, lapsed kasvasid üles, käisid koolis, Eesti koolis New Yorgis. Abikaasa suri noorelt ja siis oli mul otsus teha, et kuhu ma lähen. Maja oli liiga suur, tuli müüa ja mõtlesin, kus on Eesti tegevus. Ja paistis, et Leikud oli välja valitud koht. Nii et siis ma saabusin siia 1999 kohe eda. Raimut võttis tutist kinni ja ütles, et peab tulema juhatusse ja vaatame, kas hakkame Segakooriga peale, võib-olla laulame. Ja härra Rikka ütles, et kuidas oleks, kui tantsime rahvatantsu ja nii ta kõik läks, nii et sain oma tantsud tantsitud ja laulud lauldud ja osa võetud ja igatpidi väga lõbus olemine, palju tööd alati, aga rõõmuga tehtud, kuna eestluse alal hoidmiseks on see tehtud ja mingit probleemi siiamaani ei olnud. Nii et ma olen olnud siin tegevuses juba 22 aastat, mis on pikka aeg ja ma kavatsen veel nii kaua, kui mu jalad käivad ja ajud töötavad, siis kindlasti ma saan olema siin Eesti majas. Leikudi Eesti maja täiesti kõige tähtsam osa minu seltskondlikust elust. Sõbrad, tuttavad, tegevus on kõik siin. Ei jõua oodata, kui midagi jälle toimub. Igatahes ma olen tänulik, et see on juhtunud niimoodi, et ma saan siin natukene aidata ja sellega ma olen väga rahul siiamaani. Kiskumisi ei ole olnud. Väga rahulik töögrupp on. Palju noori ja see on tore, nii et loodetavasti see töö läheb kaua aega veel edasi. Paremad soovid Eesti majale.
Ma Armsad Lakewoodi inimesed, mina tänan teid mõnusate ööbimistingimuste eest ja väga kena vastuvõtu eest. Aitäh!
Armsad Lakewoodi sõbrad, mina tänan kustumatu saunaelamuse eest, sest nii suures saunas, nii suures leiliruumis ei ole ma varem ega hiljem kunagi olnud. Aitäh!
Head armsad Lakewoodi sõbrad, ma olen südamest tänulik teile kõigile, kes te meid vastu võtsite, meie eest hoolt kandsite, tegite kõik selleks, et meie Ameerika väljasõit oleks turvaline, soe ja mõnus. Aitäh teile, head tervist teile kõigile!
Hei, mina tahaksin tervitada kõiki Lakewoodi Eesti maja noori ja lapsi.
Nii armas Lakewood, aitäh kõik ilusa eest, vastuvõtu eest, kõik oli väga meeldiv, olge terved.
Tere Lakewood! Lakewoodis on Eesti lipp palju kõrgemal kui nii mõneski Eesti külas. Aitäh teile!
Aitäh Lakewood imemaitsvate toitude eest, eriti Erik!
Külakapell Lustre tänab Lakewoodi rahvast suurepärase vastuvõtu eest 2,5 aastat tagasi märtsis ja me oleme nii palju arenenud kapellina, et me võime vabalt jälle tulla. Kutsuge meid, me toome teile killukese kodumaad jälle kohale, nii et suur tänu teile ja jõudu teile eestluse hoidmisel. Teeme ühe suure hurraa neile! Hurraa!
See, everybody loves Lakewoodi Eesti maja, Järvemetsa. I'll let you in on a secret. In preparing for all of this, I kept hearing Järvemetsa, Järvemetsa, and then there was Lakewood and Lakewood. I just put that together, that Järvemetsa, Järv, Lake, Metsa, Wood. I just figured that out at my age. Okay. So maybe not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Hey, don't judge. Don't judge. But really, I mean, everybody loves Lakewood, as you can see. There were those folks that you just saw in the video, they were standing in front of the Eesti Rahvusmuseum in Tartu, which is a really beautiful new building. I was there about 3-4 years ago for the unveiling of Estonia Through 100 Pairs of Eyes, which is a book that was put together by these Estonians in Amsterdam and Rotterdam, and it was a really a great thing. Excuse me. It's 3 o'clock in the morning here. I'm in the south of France, and I'm a little jet lagged, so you'll have to just bear with me a little bit. It's also great to see the Lakewood Estonian School. And there's also an annual gathering there, or a kokkutulek, of Estonian schools in the US that Lakewood hosts. And these weekends are called pärimuspäevad. As you know, the kids learn about their cultural heritage, you know, who we are as Estonians. And one thing they did learn is they learned how to play the traditional Estonian instrument, the kannel, which is kind of related to the zither and just like our Estonian folk character Vana Muise, we all knew the song, right? Kui kungla rahvas kuldsel ajal kord istus maha sööma, siis Vana Muise ulmalt läks pani kande lugu käima, right? We all learned that song. I still remember it, which is interesting. I don't remember a lot, but there's certain songs, some certain Estonian songs, you know, and Kairajan. Shall I do a little Kairajan? No, it's too late. Okay, and the kids learn how to play the kannel, so including kungla rahvas. See, and in our auction today, we have 2 kandled up for bid. You know, please have a look at our culture's beloved musical instrument. Check this out.
väikekannel on Eesti kõige vanem keelpill, selle vanuseks arvatakse umbes 2000 aastat. Levinud olid aga meie naaberlahvaste hulgas. Eesti pillid olid 6-7 keelsed, trapetsikujulised. Keeled valmistati vanemal ajal kas hobusesaba jõhvidest või sooltest, uuemal ajal metallist.
Väikekannel on kõlanud Lakewoodi Eesti majaski. 2015. aastal käisime Muuste rahvamuusikakooli rahvaga seal teil külas. Hoiame ühiselt USA's ka eestlust elus ja Väikekannel on selle jaoks üks parimaid abimehi.
So that's the kannel. There's 2 up for bid and bid high on these items. These are handmade, beautiful, beautiful instruments by Raivo Sildoja, who is a master luthier. That's a luthier is someone who works with and builds instruments, and also Vaido Petsar. So, bid in there, and I think you'll appreciate it. Your future self will thank you. And our love of culture and homeland runs deep, whether it's music or dance or literature. And so just a big thanks to these talented musicians who bring joy and energy wherever they go. Aitäh Kadri, Laube, Marju, Varblane, and the ensemble Pillilaagri, Punt from Estonia. Next up.
Head, kallid eestlased, kes te elate seal nii kaugel ja samas nii lähedal, eriti kui vaadata tänast päeva, kus me juba mitu aastat oleme tegelikult palju tihedamas kontaktis, kui me eelnevalt olnud olemegi. See, et Eesti Rahvuskomitee Ühendriikides vajab täna meie toetust ja on korraldanud niivõrd ägeda ettevõtmise, nagu seda on see oktsioon, või see, et meie saame täna anda ka oma panuse sellesse, et eestlus seal lombi taga püsiks ja jääks, ja et kultuurielu, mis on seal väga-väga tegelikult ju hoitud, edasi kanduks, siis mul on suur rõõm sisse juhatada järgnev punt, millega ma ise olen tegelikult 11, see on nüüd juba 12 aastat tagasi käinud Ameerikas. Niimoodi, et me alustasime New Yorgist, jõudsime välja Torontosse ja sõitsime autoga Torontost tagasi Lakewoodi tol korral ja külastasime ka Spring Lake'i. Meil on kustumatud mälestused sellest ajast. Tulge siia, vaadake. Mul on siin hästi palju kasse, sellepärast meil on hästi palju lärmi siin. Aga igatahes suured tervitused teile siit Kõrvipalust ja ma loodan, et Pillilaagri Punt, kes täna mängib teile siit Kõrvipalust lugu, mis on salvestatud jaanipäeval, et me saame ühel päeval olla taas teie juures ja tuua teile seda energiat, mis meil on inimeselt inimesele. Olge hoitud ja kohtumiseni!
Tere kõikidele eestlastele Põhja-Ameerikas. Mina olen Eesti rahvamuusik Marju Varblane ja mul on väga hea meel öelda tänusõnad Eesti Rahvuskomiteele Ühendriikides, kes on võtnud korraldada oksjoni ja tuluõhtu, et leida vahendeid Eesti majade arendamiseks ja hoidmiseks. Minu viimane kontsertreis Ühendriikides koos duopartneri Kadri Laubega toimus üle 8 aastat tagasi. Aga selgi poolest on meeles väga palju momente. Eredamad hetked võib-olla pärinevad Spring Lake'ist, kus meid võttis vastu väga sarav Eesti Tamm kiki. Aga ka Kanadast, kus meid võõrustas Ene ja Toomas Timmuski pere. Rochesteris oli meil võimalus aga tutvuda ülikooli eluga. Nimelt elas seal tollal ja õppis Valev Laube, kes tutvustas meile linnakut ja vastas meie lõpututele küsimustele tudengielu ja kohaliku olukorda kohta. Kontsertreisi vältel oli meil igal pool väga soe publik. Aga kõige eredamalt vast on meeles need säravad silmapaarid Ehatares, kes meid väga hoolega jälgisid ja küsisid pärast kontserti ka väga palju küsimusi. Kogu reisi vältel nägime ja tundsime eestlaste kokkuhoidvust ja ka tahet oma kultuuritraditsioone edasi kanda. Seega soovin Eesti majadele pikka iga, et oleks järgnevate põlvedel koht, kus kokku saada ja traditsioonid, mida hoida. Nüüd aga üks südasuvine muusikapala Lõuna-Eesti kuplite vahelt.
Me oppame teid kala püüdma. On hea plaan. Saan see ilmaga tegelikult kala saa enne pilliga püüda, mul on sääne tunne, aga siiski on võimalik läbi tantsu jõuda kalapüüdmiseni. Ja tegu on siis imelihtsa, katepaariga küll sealt ette ei saa tsõõri. Kui sa teid katepaariga tsõõri, saati või? Ei, ma ei lepi säänse asjaga. Kodude, ma kõik aege suure 10 last oma rivin, ese, ime, vanaema ja vanaisa, kõik oma sõõri peal. Nüüd me ei saa siin ette siis sama suurt sõõri. Saa ju. Nii, aga siis lähme kalale. Mis siis saa? Kõigepealt hakati minema läbi Varstu järve viirdes, läbi Mõniste järve viirdega. Siin väga palju valikut
Wow. See, Estonians, we're singing, we're dancing. That's what we do. We're playing musical instruments. A huge thank you to those talented musicians who, they just bring joy and energy wherever they go. Aitäh, Kadri, Laube, Marju, Varblane, and the ensemble Pillilaagri, Punt from Estonia. So, okay, now we're going to go, there's another video coming up that's about a Lakewood and Järvemetsa, Lakewood, Järvemetsa. And so, and you'll see it's, right around the corner and down the street from the Lakewood Eesti Maja, down a traffic light, and then past the 7-Eleven is Järvemetsa laager. Check this out.
Scoutlaager, guidelaager, kuulge minu käsku. Laagrid valvel.
I feel like I couldn't really do the things that we do here anywhere else.
We're taught these very important values early on, like in Hundud, and then they expect us to follow these lessons, and that's why they give us so much freedom later on in Scouted, and it's just very, I guess, refreshing as children, I guess, like that we're respected and like we're expected to do, to uphold these like ideals and like that we have freedom to do stuff that we want to do.
I recommend like the tent, you hang it from trees like ropes because you can always stretch it.
The traditions like the dances and also doing lipwood and just like the ASD Girl Scout community, like we do all the traditions. And also I feel like having a bunch of people that speak ASD, then you get to kind of hear it more often and then you learn more while you're here.
My mom said like I've been coming since she was like pregnant with me, which was just for 1 year, but it's still like I guess 17 years even though I'm only 16, but I think I guess that gives it that kind of connection. Like I've been coming here since before I was born. It's like more of a home than my actual home. A lot of people otherwise just wouldn't have had the experience. Like some kids don't even have the chance to go to Segakoor, so this is the only part of Estonian culture that they can kind of be a part of and learn.
Like you could lower this whole thing a foot.
That is amazing.
I see all these people who have been doing or who have been coming to Lager for generations. I feel like that also keeps me grounded that like this is a whole community, and that it is connected to Eesti, even if we're not really there in person.
Need inimesed siin on toredad näiteks, sest peaasi on laagris, et sul on ise nagu tore ja minu arust nagu kui laagris on siuksed probleemid, sa ju ikka ei taha tulla siia, aga kui need inimesed siin on toredad, siis ikka tahad ja nagu kui sõbrad on olemas ja siis teeb sind rõõmsaks, siis see on kõik, mis on oluline.
Everybody's so nice and it's really special like for everybody, and if they came then they would be able to be a part of the community and also like have fun with all of us.
Estonian culture is lived on and we sing these songs and realize like where we're actually from and we're not just Americans that came here and that we know our past and our history and we realize these things.
What's your favorite part about Lager?
Probably everything.
I feel younger than how old the people seemed when I was like, well, you know what I'm trying to say. I don't feel as old as I should be to be here, but it still feels good, but I don't know, I'm almost done with everything and we'll see what comes next.
Great times. I remember when I went. It was fun. I met a whole lot of new people, all these eestlased, and Lakewood, Lager, great stuff. You know, Scouted and Guided, they run a great program. And so, you know, thanks to our forefathers who had the vision to provide such a, you know, nature-rich home for their scouting activities. And, you know, a lot of these, our parents, my parents, that generation, you know, they didn't have to do this, right? But they gave of their time. They gave their Sunday, their weekend afternoons. They gave their Sundays to go to täienduskool and teach us Estonian. They didn't have to, but they did. And so grateful that they did. So, like I said, brings back a lot of memories. And if you haven't been there, you must visit, and you can, because we've got we've got something special. I'll explain it to you. The Valgeliv, or the white sand, is a magical. It's a place. The pine tree aroma and the smell of the cedar. You know, it's just nothing like walking down that trail towards the campfire and then hearing the guitars and the singing in the air. And there's a lot of us who wish we could relive those days. And well, here's your opportunity. Here's how you can do that again. We have made this, the Eesti Guidide Scoutide Sõprade Seltsi Liit have made it possible for us. Now, you can bid high. You know, come on, get that checkbook out. Bid high on a very exclusive opportunity to have a private getaway to this 84-acre Järve Metsalager, complete with a heated sauna, a crackling fire, and your own private guitar player. And if you're short a laulik, you can probably get you one of those too. You know how scouts are, alati valmis, always ready. So listen, that's and you want to bid on that, and you want to bid on that page. And so I want to just remind you once again where all this is happening. It's at www.estosite.org. That's Esto site, Esto, ESTO.org/Esto RAISER. And there you can enter the auction and relive your youth. Have another great weekend in Järvemetsa, in Lakewood. So, okay, now up next, we are going to hear from, sorry, I'm just moving scripts around here a lot. We are going to, I did earlier, a couple of days ago, I did an interview with ERKU member Sirje Kiin. And what they're doing is they're bringing back the Henrik Visnapuu. Henrik Visnapuu was a very, very famous Estonian writer back at the turn of the century, the last turn of the century. And he and Mari Under, who's Estonia's most famous poet, had this literary group. And for years, they used to hand out this award. Anyway, you can watch the video and we'll explain it in there. But this is Sirje Kiin and I had a lovely chat about this. So welcome. I am very pleased to have with us today Sirje Kiin, who is a very distinguished Estonian writer and a distinguished cultural expert who considers Estonia her native land and has spent time in Finland and now lives in South Dakota. She's probably the only Estonian in South Dakota. I'm not really sure about that, but we could look into that. And not only are we lucky to have her as an ERKU council member, she's also a member of the board. She's also an EANC, Estonian American National Committee delegate, and is a member of the Commission for Global Estonian Cooperation. A very talented woman with wearing a lot of different hats. Sirje, welcome.
Thank you. I am happy to be here and congratulating everybody with our successful cultural event, which is ending today.
Yeah, so it's great. So we're here because there's going to be an award, the the Estonian American National Committee Hendrik Visnapuu Literary and Cultural Award, and I'm going to let you talk about why Hendrik Visnapuu is so important.
Thank you for an excellent question. Hendrik Visnapuu is one of the most patriotic love poet of 20th century in Estonian literature. And how is he connected to North America is the fact that despite he did his life job as a poet and a cultural figure in Estonia, 1944, he was one of them who was forced to go to exile because of the beginning of Soviet occupation. And he first emigrated to Germany, and then 1949 he came to USA. And he lived in New York and published his wonderful memoirs, Päike ja Jõgi, Sun and River, and also founded foreign Estonian first Estonian Literature Society. But unfortunately, he died in 1950 already, and his ashes were waiting in New York a long time, over half a century, until a few years ago they were returned as he wished to Estonia and buried in Estonia now. So he was such an influential poet that friends of his founded right after his death the Estonian Cultural Foundation by his name, Visnapuu Foundation, and started 1952 the Visnapuu Award, and this was given every year until 2007, when all the people who had founded it finally went to heaven. And now, almost 15 years, there has not been Visnapuu Award, but Erkku, thanks to the literary gods, decided a year ago in November in our year meeting that we will restore this remarkable literary award for foreign Estonian cultural genius works and in many cultural fields, not just literary award, but we want also it to be larger cultural award, either historical research or artwork or music work. So it's a broader meaning of this, and we founded this, and we have a jury working whole year now. We got 15 remarkable nominations, and very soon, by the end of this month, we will nominate 6 candidates for award. And Visnapuu birthday is 2nd of January coming up, and then we will announce the winner of the award.
That's wonderful. That is so good. Well, we're all looking forward to it, and thank you so much for filling in those details, which were so interesting. And we will talk some more, but we're looking forward to that award in January.
Very good. And also I want to say that we got so many nominations from different countries, from Russia, USA, Germany, Finland, Estonia, that it really showed that this need for this type of award is really significant. So we are very happy that our Erkku is supporting world Estonian culture, not just in US.
Super. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, great. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And we'll be very curious to see who the nominees are. And I look forward to that. Thank you. An absolutely fascinating woman. And for more of that interview, you can go to the Estonian American National Council Facebook page and see that, along with a whole bunch of other stuff. There is, earlier today, there was a Kristi Roosmaa film, which was only going to be available on the website till midnight tonight. So if you want to watch that film, please go and check that out on the Estonian American National Council Facebook page. Up next, I am going to consult with my producer, who is feeding me information and who's working, by the way. Just a big shout out to Lelo Linask, who's put this together and is keeping me from making an absolute fool of myself, which is no easy task. So there's a lot of mini events around. There's an Adam Rang sauna video, which is really great, and you should really check that out. He's a sauna guy in Eesti, and he's got a lot of information about saunas, and it's really, really a fun video. So that's also on our website, ESTO site /ESTO RAISER. And now back to the sound on the shores of Olevi Järv and back to Järvemetsa in the spirit of the sound.
nägemata näpistä. Must madu mätta alla, kirju madu kivi alla. Ärsä salva salaja, nägemättä näpistä.
So that was Diina Tamm and Jose Amor Christensen in an original performance, which they did, and they did that at Lakewood. And it's on the shores of the Olevi Järv or Olev Lake. And so Jose Amor, by the way, was in the musical Hamilton. So these are some really amazing people that are working with us here. And you know what? Seeing that, I just, there's nothing like a sound, right? Isn't there? I mean, it's such a part of our culture to go into a hot room. I performed for the troops in Afghanistan, Estonian troops in Afghanistan a few years ago. And I remember that it was 140 degrees. It was 52 degrees centigrade in Afghanistan. It was July and it was high desert and it was unbelievably, I mean, I have never been in heat like this before in my entire life. And the Estonian guys, the Estonian soldiers there in that heat, they had brought with them a sound from Estonia. And I thought, you people got to be kidding me. But let me tell you something. When you take a sound in Afghanistan, when it is 80 degrees in the sound, and then you come out and it's 50 degrees Celsius outside, pretty cool, not too bad. And not only were the Estonians doing it, but the other troops from Britain and from Samoa and from the Norwegians, that they were all lining up to use the Estonian sound. So it's who we are. We take a sound wherever we go. Now you saw the vihjad that they were the leaves that is the traditional in the Estonian sound, and you sort of whack yourself with it. So those vihjad, where also you can bid on the sauna vihjad or whisks, and they come with an automated autographed note from these two wonderful talents, and they're clean. They're like they haven't been used before. They're not used vihjad. I mean, we wouldn't do that. I mean, so they're clean vihjad, ready for you to take home to your own sound. So we have 3 sauna experiences up for bid. So go to the website, estosite.org/ESTO-RAISER, and bid on this stuff. Come on, we're trying to raise money for the Eesti Majad around the US. So come on, you got checkbooks. It's in the other room. Go, it's you know where it is. I'll wait, just go. So do you live in New York? You just want to bid on a sauna wicht? What are you going to do with it? Well, you don't have sauna. You're going to go to called Mairo Noten at the Red Hot Sauna Team. It's amazing. They have a sauna on wheels. Seriously, it's a sauna on wheels, and it's an old ambulance, and they'll drive it right up to your front door. Sauna option number 3 comes straight from Chicago, who's offering a sauna party at the Chicago Eesti Maja for 10, but we'll hear more about that later. Now, speaking of Chicago, hold on a second. My producer is trying to tell me something here. Oh, well, we'll take credit cards. We just, doesn't have to be a check. We'll take credit cards. You can pay for it online. And, you've got a lot of room on that credit card. So come on, this is for a good cause. A little bit of money, spend something. You give, you get back more. That's how it is. So, speaking of Chicago, and it's time we hit the road.
The Estonian House in Chicago is a small piece of Estonia nestled on the Des Plaines River in the heartland of America. It is not unusual for visitors to travel several hundred miles to reconnect with their Estonian roots at our community center. Chicago Eesti Maja is a cultural center that promotes Estonian culture, language, and history. It serves as a meeting place for people of Estonian heritage and friends of Estonia. Our Estonian school is in session 2 Sundays per month. The Estonian Lutheran Church conducts monthly services. Annually, we celebrate Estonian Independence Day, Midsummer Night, Night of Ancient Bonfires, Oktoberfest, and Christmas. On 40 Sundays of the year, our dining room is open for lunch, and during the year we provide a stage for Estonian musicians, actors, artists, and dignitaries. The Chicago Estonian House was founded in 1964, and fundraising commenced immediately in order to buy a home for the Estonian community. By 1967, a large plot of land with a private residence was identified in unincorporated Lake County near the suburb of Prairie View. The site was very overgrown. Volunteers cleared the land on weekends and during vacations. They planted beautiful rows of paper white birch trees and groomed the wild forest into park-like splendor. From early on, the original house was not large enough to accommodate the growing number of members and guests. Multiple proposals were considered by the membership, and the winning design was by Estonian architect Jakob Viks, whose proposed new structure merged the original building with a new mid-century modern-style hall. Construction occurred between 1970 and 1972, mostly with our own volunteer crews. The heart and soul of the Chicago Eesti Maja is the Estonian community of Northern Illinois and Southern Wisconsin. All activities at the Estonian House are led, organized, and run by our members on a volunteer basis. At the time when many civic organizations are struggling, our over 50 years of existence is a testament to the desire of Estonians to hold on to their heritage.
Mina kasvasin üles lapsena juba Eesti Majaga, kui ma olin väike, ma mäletan 1980, siin olid spordipäevad ja jaanipäev niimoodi, et ma olen Eesti Majaga olnud koos juba põhimõtteliselt minu terve eluaeg.
Music is an important part of an Estonian's heritage, and we are proud of the lineup of musicians who have performed on our stage.
Ma arvan, et kahtlemata kõige parem kontsert oli Kuldsel triol, siis peale Kuldse trio on veel käinud meil Singer Vinger, Kala, Karl Madis ja nii edasi, enamus Eesti tuntud esinejaid. Meil on kohalik huvibänd, siis esmaspäev alati oleme üritanud esineda, kui on suurem üritus keegi külas. Idee meil bändis on ka see, et noorem põlvkond võtaks asja üle ja viiks edasi, et lapsed õpivad pille, neil on ruum olemas, kus saavad harjutamas käia, pillid on siin, et see on kahtlemata meeldiv kõigile.
Our Vana Tallinn bar is a point of pride for our members and is often the congregation point when friends meet at the Eesti Maja.
And the old Tallinn bar was just renovated this year. And as you can see, the remarkable work our own people were able to construct and design colors on the bar of our Estonian flag. A remarkable job that they have done. It's just a great place to gather, to bring all our friends together and enjoy our Estonian brothers and sisters.
We recognize that the children are a key to the future of the Estonian House. At our major events, we focus on making sure our children learn and have fun. From our Estonian school to Jouluvana at the Christmas parties, we make sure the children want to come and enjoy time with their friends.
Mulle meeldib tulla siin, mulle meeldib learnida Eesti ja mulle meeldib minna siin, siis ma tean, I know Estonia, so I know a little bit more. Mulle meeldib mängida siin mu sõpradega. Ja siin on jagu fun asjad ka. Siin on väga hea see. Ja mina meeldin Eesti kooli. Mina meeldin, kui me teeme sport ja mängime.
Chicago Eesti Maja has a sound, which is an important part of our heritage.
Saun on meil Eesti meeste enda ehitatud. 10-11 aastat tagasi vast midagi sõkkes. Umbes, jah. Saun on meil gaasiahi, 7-80 kraadi sooja siin, piisavalt, et pigistada ja leili võtta.
Kui ma olin nagu vahepeal olin mujal osariigis elasin ja siis kui ma tagasi tulin, siis see oli üks suurimad asju, millest ma kõige rohkem nagu puudust tundsin, oli just nimelt see neljapäevane see saunapäev.
Activities at the Estonian House continue to evolve to fit the needs of our members. We have become a greater part of our surrounding community with events and activities that draw in many non-Estonians, like our annual International Christmas Market and our upcoming folk and bluegrass music series. As a not-for-profit corporation, we rely heavily on our members for financial support. Over 60% of our income comes from Estonian activities at the house and from donations from our members. The remaining balance comes from rental activities and donations from Finns, Latvians, Norwegians, and other community-based organizations who use our facilities. If your future plans bring you to the Chicago area, please make a point of stopping in to see your fellow countrymen at the Chicago Eesti Maja. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, or check our website at chicagoestimaja.com.
Tervist armsad Lakewoodi Eesti Maja inimesed ja Chicago Eesti kogukond. Me tervitame teid siit imeilusalt saarelt, mille nimeks Kihnu. Mina olen Marko, kes elan tegelikult Haapsalus.
Mina olen Anto ja elan siinsamas Kihnu saare peal.
Ja kokku me moodustame sellise duo, mille nimeks Väliharf. Ja tervituseks tahaks teile saata ühe ilusa loo just nimelt siit kandist.
Samast Kihnu saare pealt.
Merel üks väikene kihnusaar, minu vigatsusta järel meid ükskord sinna saab. Lase laine möllab torm, mul puhub purjesse, vaid vendab täies farmis, mind vahutab tahes. Lase laine möllab torm, mul puhub purjesse, vaid vendab täies farmis, mind vahutab tahes. Sina väikene Kihnu neiu, ei ütle mina sul puu, sina ikkagi minu neiu, sind kuumalt armastab. Lase laine möllab torm, mul puhub purjesse, vaid vendab täies farmis, mind vahutab tahes. Lase laine möllab torm, mul puhub purjesse, vaid vendab täies farmis, mind vahutab tahes. Sinu silmad pikka, sinu armas kanjuga. Bassein on Balti merel, saab kaugel Afrikas. Lase laine möllab torm, mul puhub purjesse, läheb lennab täies farmis, mind vahutab tahes. Lase laine möllab torm, mul puhub purjesse, läheb lennab täies farmis, mind vahutab tahes. Kui aga täna mul puhub raha, hakkab sellega ja paneb püksi maha, küll homme uued saab. Lase laine möllab torm, mul puhub purjesse, läheb lennab täies farmis, mind vahutab tahes. Lase laine möllab torm, mul puhub purjesse, läheb lennab täies farmis, mind vahutab tahes. Balti merel üks väikene kihnusaar, minu igatsusta järel meil ükskord sinna saab. Lase laine möllab torm, mul puhub purjesse, läheb lennab täies farmis, mind vahutab tahes. Lase laine möllab torm, mul puhub purjesse, läheb lennab täies farmis, mind vahutab tahes. Olge kenasti hoitud, püsige terved ja rohket armastust teile.
Ja rõõmsa kohtumiseni.
Just, kindlasti kohtume.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Technology. I'm not very good at this. That was Chicago, and they are doing some great stuff over there. Wasn't that fun? So we're going to go to LA now. Unfortunately, we had a problem with the video from the LA Estonian House, our fault. But the board member, Edgar Kaskla, who I know, did an interview, and we're having a problem in getting that video. I, however, had the pleasure and the honor of performing at the Estonian house in LA. When was it? God, it was a bunch of years ago for Vabariigi aastapäev. They asked me to come down and do a little stand-up. And I love performing at Eesti houses. The first time I ever performed at an Eesti Maja was the Baltimore Eesti Maja this was like 1986 or 7, somewhere on there. I was living in New York and working at the Improv and Catch a Rising Star. And the Estes had said, hey, why don't you come down and do a little stand-up at the Baltimore Eesti Maja? So I went, and that was the first place I ever performed for Estonians. Then it's fun to perform for Estonians because there's a whole bunch of material that I can only do with väliseestlased, because it's the stuff that we all grew up with. And I can have fun with that, and I can lampoon that. So it's always great. I performed in Toronto. I performed at the New York Eesti Maja, and so there we go. We apologize for the video of the LA Estonian House, but before we go to LA, my producer's telling me something. The Chicago Kulturselts. I'm looking at my script. The Estonian Cultural Society. The Estonian, the Chicago, they're having a growth spurt, and they're having a lot of people, and there's a lot of traditional stuff happening in Chicago. And we invite you to bid. There's a sölk. It's a traditional brooch, and they've put it up for auction. They kindly donated it. So that's also on the fundraiser page. So go bid on that. Everybody needs a sölk. And there's another bid. There's not only for the brooch, but they're offering a sailing trip on Lake Michigan. In fact, there's 2 sailing trips in the auction that you can bid on. One is in Lake Michigan, and one is in Toms River, New Jersey, both with an Estonian crew. Because you don't want to venture out on the waters without an Estonian crew. My grandfather was a sea captain. Both my grandfathers were sea captains. My father was a naval architect. We're sea people. We'll eat anything that comes out of the sea, even if we don't know what it is. I watched 2 guys sit on a pier in Tallinn fishing, and they pulled something out, and they looked at each other and said, "Oh, mis asi see on? Oh, ma ei tea. Oh, prae ära, vaata, mis on." They cooked it. Oh, mis sa ütled? Mis sa mõtled? Ei tea. Noh, pane hapukoort peale. And that's Estonia. If you're not sure what it is, put some sour cream on it. So, where was I here? Okay, now we're going to set sail. See how I segue? Sail. We're going to set sail for Los Angeles. And we were going to have a video, Edgar Kaskla, the board member of the House of Eesti Maja in LA, but something happened and we don't have that video. So we apologize to all the people who put that video together. Nothing we could do. So there's a sailboat. You can go out on a sailboat and you can bid. Come on, bid. We want you out there. We want you to go out there and we want you to go sailing. So now, Los Angeles. We are going to Los Angeles and we are going to, there's a book that we're going to raffle off. It's called Estonians in America. It's a really serious book. It's a big book. And it's sort of our history in the United States. And that's on, sort of exile. It's called Exiles in the Land of Promise. And Estonia, the United States was really, really good for our parents and all those who came before us because they were given a chance to live lives because their lives were cut short when the Soviet Union decided to occupy Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and most of the Eastern Bloc. Luckily, their history, and we are free again. So there you go. So what's my name? And one will go to the winner, and then one will be gifted to the Los Angeles Estonian House. Now, speaking of Los Angeles, the Estonian American National Committee is supporting the premiere of The Singing Revolution, the musical. Now, you may have heard sort of little bits and pieces about this. I met Tony Spinoza a year ago, before everything closed down. So 2019 in Washington at a big gala. And they premiered a number there from the Singing Revolution. Long story short, Tony Spinoza, an American, but Spinoza clearly not Estonian, Italian, went on a cruise and stopped in Tallinn, heard about how we sang our way to freedom, fell in love with the idea, and created a musical called The Singing Revolution, which will premiere in Los Angeles in January of 2022. And there are also tickets to the opening night party that will be raffled, that are up for bid. And we'll also, we're probably going to raffle off a hat, Singing Revolution hat. So these are all available, pardon me, in the raffle. So definitely go check that out. Now, I've been to the Estonian House in Los Angeles. Like I said, I performed there. And like all Estonian houses, Estonians bought where they could afford, which was usually not in the best part of town. Although, as we all know, when you buy in a certain part of town, sooner or later, that part of town becomes cool. And that's what the LA house became. It was in a very, very questionable part of town, as was the New Yorki Eesti Maja. And over the years, sort of everything got better around it. So the Estonian house in LA is a really great cultural center. It's there's a lot of activity there. Vabariigi aastapäeva, täienduskool. They've got all kinds of stuff going there. There's a really big, healthy Estonian community down in Los Angeles. So if you are visiting, if you're in Los Angeles, by all means, go check it out. Now, are we going to do the Singing Revolution musical? Are we going to do the interview with Tony Spinoza? I mean, is that what's coming up next? It is. Okay. Today, and I'm very excited about this, we'll be talking with Tony Spinoza about Singing Revolution. And we're going to hear some of the music, which is great. And so allow me to introduce our special guest. Tony Spinoza is, well, I mean, what hasn't he done? He's an award-winning director and choreographer. His performance credits include the Broadway production of Peter Pan starring Kathy Rigby, national and international tours of A Chorus Line, Evita in South Pacific. He was resident director on the Tony Award-winning revival of La Cage aux Folles, starring Kelsey Grammer and Douglas Hodge. And he's also twice been the guest of President Toomas Hendrik Ilves at the Friends of Estonia conference in Tallinn. So please welcome Tony Spinoza.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. And I thank you for inviting me to this event to chat about Singing Revolution. And I appreciate the unparalleled support that I've received from the Estonian community over the past 6 years, developing and this musical and getting it to the stage.
Well, tell me, fill us in a little bit about your experience with the Estonian community.
Yeah, I would love to. That's why I'm here today, to celebrate with you guys. Because first of all, congratulations on your 30th anniversary of your re-independence to Estonia. Wonderful, you guys. It's an inspiration. So over the past years, I've had many experiences with Estonians all over the world. And to start with some of the people I've met. First, I met Eva Maria Limets, who was the Consulate General to Estonia in New York. At the time. Also Kristi Roosmaa, who was the Cultural Affairs Coordinator for the Ministry of Culture in New York, and Ret Remmel, who was the Counselor of Estonian International Affairs at the Department of International Relations at the Estonian Minister of Culture in Tallinn. And with their help, I was invited to Tallinn to interview many of the leaders of the Singing Revolution, many of whom are still alive today. You know, I attended many events at the New York Estonia House and was extremely welcomed by Kadri Sepp every time. I got to meet Taavi Rõivas and his beautiful wife there, and many, many Estonian diplomats. At one point, the Estonian Arts and Letters invited me as a special guest to the EV 100 celebration at the Essex House in New York City. And they had Uku Suviste come in to sing 2 of the songs from the musical, which was sensational. And that was a night I'll never forget. The reception from the Estonian community was just, it was mind-blowing. Besides that, I've met people in Washington, D.C., Peter Copperman, the president of the Washington Estonian Society, who invited me to present one of our songs at the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, a privilege for us to perform there. And it was a performance in collaboration with Mert Agu, his dance troupe, a wonderful dance troupe. That same weekend when I met you was the Estonian American National Council invited me to present some of the songs at the annual gala, which began a beautiful relationship with EANC and their board of directors. And EANC has since become a proud sponsor of the Los Angeles production of Singing Revolution, and I'm truly, truly grateful for their tremendous support. They've been just remarkable, absolutely remarkable. Cool. Let's see, there's Terje Van Schaik from Florida Estonian Society, who's been a wonderful champion of this project. She has invited me to speak at the 2020 Estonian Independence Day celebration just before the pandemic hit. That was the last event I attended. And I've also had the pleasure of being the guest of former President Toomas Hendrik Ilves at 2 of his Friends of Estonia conferences. And in 2019, I was his guest at Laulupidu, which still, I speak about that experience almost daily. What a magnificent event. And I can't begin to tell you how welcome I felt from the Estonian community in all corners of the world.
Yeah, no, the Laulupidu is, I remember my first one when I went, and it's really, I mean, it's so hard to describe to anybody who has not experienced it because, and I tell people, I say, you know how many people they had on stage for that number? They had 25,000 people on stage, and you know their heads just pop off because they just can't imagine that many people on a stage.
Absolutely, I think the
10% of the country is in the audience.
Yes, yes, and to hear all of those voices, not only the thousands of people on stage, but the thousands of people in the audience all singing together was just remarkable.
Yeah, I know. It's just it sends a chill down your, you know. Yeah. So. For those who are not familiar with Estonia's singing revolution, can you give a brief description of that part of Estonia's history?
Sure, I'll be really brief. In a nutshell, the singing revolution refers to the years of 1987 to 1991, when the Estonians created several events to peacefully protest their occupation by the Soviet Union. These events all involved singing their way to freedom. No guns, no weapons, no violence. And for me, this was the quintessential example of the influence of song and the power of peaceful resistance. That was my inspiration for the musical. And then in August 1991, the Estonians received their independence without one drop of bloodshed. remarkable story.
I still remember that. I mean, my parents were still alive then, and my parents never thought they would see a free Estonia again, and it was pretty emotional for them to see that.
Sure.
I got to tell you, one of the things that I love it and it's fabulous, and I think everybody in the audience wants to go, how is it that an Italian American, Spinoza, not exactly an Estonian name, how did you get so interested in Estonian history? I mean, most people, when I was growing up, they didn't even know where Estonia was. Right? It's the Estonia. Oh, you're East-stoned again? No, it's Estonia, So, and how did that happen? And how, based on what you learned, did you get the idea to create a musical based on Estonia's history and the singing revolution?
Sure. Well, it was during my first visit to Tallinn in 2014. I was on a cruise ship when we happened to stop in Tallinn. It was one of the stops. And, the tour guide took us around Old Tallinn, which I thought was quite charming and unique. And then she took us to the Tallinn Song Festival grounds, where she started to explain the importance of singing to the Estonian culture. And I was fascinated by that. And then she started to share some information about the singing revolution. So when I got back to the cruise ship, I started to research the events that transpired from 1987 to 1991. And I was fascinated by the fact that the Estonians used the power of song as a shield against the Soviets to achieve their re-independence.
Wow. Fascinating. So, how did you get from touring Tallinn and learning about the events in Estonian history? I mean, from there, you've now got an entire musical. And how did you begin to really research the content that would become the musical version of the Singing Revolution?
Well, one of the best sources that I started with was the documentary by James and Maureen Tussey about the Singing Revolution. The documentary gave me a very clear picture of the beginnings of the Estonian culture and then articulated all of the events that happened during the revolution. Specifically, the first spontaneous night song festival, where hundreds and thousands of Estonians gathered at the Tallinn Song Festival grounds for 3 days to sing about their Estonian heritage. The Baltic chain, where over 2 million people formed a human chain 400 miles long in protest of Soviet occupation. And one of the most powerful videos that I saw was the attack on Toompea Castle, which was similar to the January 6th insurrection on our US Capitol. However, in Tallinn, the Estonians flooded the streets and surrounded the castle and sang until the attack ended, clearing a path for the violent attackers to retreat. Seriously, the video footage of that in the documentary is riveting to watch.
Yeah. It's a great documentary. I remember when I first saw it, and it's truly, and if anybody has not seen it, I highly recommend. It's a really well done piece of work.
Yes.
Anyway, so who were some of the people that you interviewed, and how receptive were they, to speak with an American theater professional?
They were all wonderful, and they lined up quite an array of people. So many of them are still alive, because we're talking about 1991, only 30 years ago when this happened. So the first person that I got to talk with was Yuri Just, the soldier who was one of the 2 soldiers that kept the Soviets from attacking the Tallinn TV tower at the final standoff of the revolution. There was also Heinz Valk and Trevimi Vilesti and Marju Lauriston, who were leaders of the organizations and one of the organizers of the Popular Front, who were the players in assembling the Baltic chain and the peaceful protests on the attack of Toompea Castle. Lagle Parek was another one who I interviewed, who was an Estonian politician, and she was jailed several times for speaking out against Soviets. These are just a few of the people that I interviewed, but it was fascinating to hear their firsthand accounts of these historic events that inspired and executed this major event for Estonia.
Yeah, no, and it was a major event. Certainly nothing, I don't really, who thought that, this monolith, the Soviet Union would crumble? It was just, but it went really, really quickly. Not as fast as Afghanistan did, but, it went pretty quickly. So the research is complete, and you had a scripted musical. tell us a bit about Singing Revolution, the musical. I mean, what's the main story here?
Sure. The Singing Revolution is a Europop musical in which a modern-day star-crossed lovers are involved in the Estonian Revolution to gain re-independence from the Soviet Union. It's inspired by the real-life events in the quaint streets of Tallinn, Estonia. Locals struggle for their freedom and the preservation of Estonian culture. And the situation becomes complicated when an Estonian falls in love with the Soviet commander's daughter.
Oh, I love it. It's like a Romeo and Juliet kind of a thing.
Exactly.
A side story, if you will.
Yes.
So, except this would be the Eastern Bloc side story, whatever. So, how much of the music story is authentic and how much of it is fantasy?
Well, all of the key events in the Singing Revolution are historically accurate. The first spontaneous night song festival, the Baltic Chain, the attack on Toompea Castle, and the attack on the Tallinn TV tower. That's all the backdrop of the musical. James Bearhart, my co-writer, and I have created fictitious characters based on the people I interviewed. And these characters help to drive the story. And our primary central characters include the Estonian who's leading the revolution and his love interest, the Soviet commander's daughter. And it's very interesting because I'm often asked about the device of the Estonian falling in love with the Soviet commander's daughter. And James and I came up with that dramatic device for the musical after I hired a tour guide in Tallinn to take me to the places where the revolution took place. This guy was a Russian fellow named Dmitry, and he shared a very interesting light on the intermingling of Russians and Estonians during that time. There were many mixed relationships that were happening, and some of them were secret, and some of them were very open about their choices. So James and I took this concept and layered it into our main characters who meet when they are 17 and 18 years old, basically the age of innocence. And let's face it, the world was starting to accept different ethnicities marrying during the late 80s. And there are many points in history in musicals where we see this kind of an interaction happen. The best example that comes to mind is, The King and I, the story of Anna Leonowens and the King of Siam. I mean, this is clearly a love story of two people who come from completely different worlds, who found a love for one another despite their cultural differences. Another example is Liesel and Ralph in The Sound of Music. And once again, we see young, innocent love happening between two people on different sides of history.
And that's certainly a device that's, you're right, has been used a lot of times before. So I can't wait to see how you guys do this. Well, first of all, I mean, I can play guitar, but I am absolutely not musically inclined at all. If my piano teacher just showed me how to play a little boogie woogie on the piano or some rock and roll so I could meet girls, it would have been great. But, at 13, you don't pick up girls by playing them Dvorak. That's just, it doesn't happen. So when you're writing a musical, I mean, do you write the story and then some of the dialogue and then some of the dialogue belongs psalms? I mean, how does that happen?
It's a very interesting process. I can't really state what comes first. It starts to generate and then it becomes a whole once it starts to roll, so to speak. I mean, once I became inspired by the events that made up the Singing Revolution, the first show and the song was the first thing that I wrote. I knew that I wanted the score to be a contemporary score because I wanted to entertain and educate younger audiences. We're in a time in American musical theater where we are bringing younger audiences to the theater through shows like Hamilton and Dear Evan Hansen, and I see this show following the same trajectory as those contemporary musicals, much like Come From Away, I should say. I was inspired by a country that could sing their country free, and that became the theme of the storytelling. And that's what you want to start an audience off with, the theme of what you're going for in the evening. So with that, let's give a little sample of the music, and let's have a look at the video of the performance from the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., where we have Eric J. Christensen singing That's What I'm Fighting For from Singing Revolution the Musical, and he's accompanied by the Mart Agu dance troupe.
Excellent. Let's take a look.
country is a place that craves for freedom once again. The torture and the fighting need to end here for all men. To our home, to our work, and to each other, we owe it to ourselves to join together hand in hand. Our past is what strengthens and ties us firmly to this land. To our home, to our work, and to each other, most of all. Oh, Estonia, may you live forever in our hearts until the day we see our fingers touch what our minds have dreamed, a better life and love for you and me. And I want to make a difference, fill our country with love. I want to see a better day, the day we rise above. May you live forever in our hearts until the day we meet. That's what I'm fighting for. What if we let our wildest dreams awaken once again? We had some faith and trusted this was more than just pretend. To our home, to our work, and to each other, the liberty could grow out of the things we thought were dead. And fear put to the fire makes us stronger within. To our home, to our fear, and to each other, but most of all, oh Estonia, may you live forever in our hearts until the day we see our fingers touch what our minds have dreamed, a better life and love for you and me. And I want to win our freedom, live joyous and free. I want to stand up and fight to fulfill our victory. Oh, Estonia, forever in our hearts until the day we meet. That's what I'm fighting for. Every mother, every father that is gone, every child, every daughter, every son, for the weary and the broken and the lost, we can't give up. Oh, Estonia, may you live forever in our hearts until the day we see our fingers touch what our minds have dreamed, a better life and love for you and me. I want us to work together, hand in hand. I want us to join together and take back our land. Oh, may you live forever in our hearts until the day we meet. That's what I'm fighting for.
Oh, wow. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. That was so cool. Really. Just excellent. Excellent. Oh, like I said, if the rest of the music goes like that, I'll be buying tickets.
Thanks, Andy. We're lucky to have a talent like Eric J. Christensen debut the music to the show. Very talented young man.
I know you're on a fast track for the show and you're scheduled to have the world premiere of this new musical opening in January at the Broadwater Theater in Los Angeles. There's going to be an auction, an item for 2 tickets to opening night with guest passes to the opening night party. Fill me in on that. I want to hear more about that.
Sure. I can't tell you how excited we are to debut this to audiences in Los Angeles. It's It's a long time coming. And, you know, the opening night of any player musical is always a very special night. The energy from the cast and crew is often electric. And it is sure to be a once-in-a-lifetime event to be one of the first to see Sing Revolution the musical on stage. And after the performance, the 2 lucky guests will be granted access to the opening night party, where they'll be able to meet me and chat with many of the performers and the creative team. And I can't wait to talk with them.
Oh man, so you're already in rehearsals, aren't you? Or
we are not. We're going into casting the middle of October. Then we start rehearsals middle of November, opening middle of January.
Oh, very cool. Very, very cool.
Yes.
Well, you know, this is all so wonderful. And I can't thank you enough for being here today. And you know, folks out there, you know, be sure to get your tickets. And, you know, especially, you know, Los Angeles eestlased, osta piletid ja mine. You know, it's a great show. Great interview. I really enjoyed meeting Tony. Like I said, I met him a year and a half ago at the gala in Washington, D.C. And he is, I love his energy. I just loved his energy, and he is, he's you know, he's putting together a musical. It's going to be really great. Now we're going to do a little raffle, which is really fun. Wait till you see this. It's kind of cool. The technology involved, a lot of fun. And we have 2 items which we're going to be putting up for the raffle. We have a hat from the Singing Revolution. Okay. And we've got the book, Estonians in America. So here we go. We're going to spin it. And Rein Linnask. And Rein Linnask is our winner. Excellent. And he's going to get the hat from the Singing Revolution. So Rein, we know how to get a hold of you, and we will get you that hat. It's a very cool hat. I've seen it. Okay. Now for our second spin, are you ready? Because you know you love the accordion music. You know, it's not Estonian unless there's an accordion involved. Linda. I'm sensing a little bit of a theme here. So, well, that's great. And then you guys have won. Linda, you have won the book, Estonians in America, Estonians in the Land of Promise. It's a big book. And it's sort of our history in the United States. So congratulations. Very cool. Think of the postage we'll save. We can put both of them in one bag and send them to Rein and Linda Linnask. I'm assuming that they're together, but I don't know. So, what's my producer telling me now? Hat? This is this is not rigged. We will do it again. But of course it's not rigged. That's just how it happened. Now, we are gonna now segue to an event dear to my heart because I grew up on the West Coast and went to a lot of these. Check out this little video about the Lääneranniku Eesti päevad.
Tervitused sügisest Seatlest ja suured tänud Eesti Rahvuskomiteele Ühendriikides sellise toreda ürituse korraldamise puhul. Seattle Estonian Society and West Coast Estonian Days are inviting you for next summer to come to Seattle to celebrate LEP 2022. If you're not sure what it is, you're in luck. I will tell you all about it. So, past 60 years or so, Estonians in West Coast have been celebrating everything Estonian all through West Coast of North America. We get together, we sing, we dance, we eat or drink, meet new friends, say hi to old ones. And for next summer, we will be doing that again, and we'll do it at Suquamish Clearwater Resort and Casino, which is just a short ferry ride from downtown Seattle. So come and celebrate with us. We will be dancing and singing. We'll also have sportlipäev where we're going to compete. We'll have formal gala, and guess what? One of the Estonian favorite things, traveling saunas. You heard that. So come and join us next summer, Clearwater Resort and Casino. If you need some more information, please go to our website, westcoastestoniandays.com, or find us on our Facebook page, LEP 2022. See you next summer.
Lääneraini questi päevad. Always a lot of fun. I can tell you, I went to a lot of them from the late 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, it's a great time. You see old friends, you gather together. So we have got in the auction a couple of tickets to the Lääneraini questi päevad for all the days. Bid on that and go. It's a lot of fun. Now, this one's close to my heart. If you don't feel like traveling, it's been a crazy time. And, we sort of gotten used to being home now. But if you don't feel like traveling and you want to bring the party to your house, you can bid for the Red Hot Sauna, which will come to your house. And you ready for this? You can bid on the Booze Brothers Band, who will travel anywhere in the US for a concert. Now, the Booze Brothers are legendary. I don't really think I need to explain to the Estonian community who the Booze Brothers are. I've known them since we were young. And I've seen them play in Estonia. I've seen them play in New York. I've seen them play in LA. I've seen them play I can't remember how many times I've seen them play. And they're fun. They're great. They're old friends who've been doing this for a lot of years. And you're going to have to pay because, it's not just any band, it's the Booze Brothers, and they'll come to your house. So it's an auction, and you should bid on this because it's the Booze Brothers. Come on. Okay. So Now, beyond music and saunas, there are more ways that Estonians in the US express themselves, and one of them is art. Now, we're going to head to central US, where I had the pleasure of meeting and speaking with a young up-and-coming artist named Markus Puskar, who is doing his art. Check this out. So welcome to another one of our interviews. With me now from Colorado is Markus Puskar, artist, mural artist, works in different forms. Estonian, I probably know his parents because that's how old I am. But it's a pleasure to have you here, Markus. Hi.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. I'm happy to be here.
And so where in Colorado?
I'm in Denver.
Oh, in Denver. Okay, cool. My brother lives in Fort Collins, so
okay,
up the road. So there are Estonians. There's a few sprinkled around Colorado.
I was actually going on a hike one day, and I heard a family of 4 speaking ESTO. And I started talking to them. They were living here for like a year. They're from near Tartu. It's cool. But other than that, yeah, not a lot. There's no ESTO sets, but we'll work on that.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Maryland, outside of DC. Going to Baltimore ESTO. Actually, Washington ESTO until they kicked us out of the embassy. And then we had to go to Baltimore. So, growing up, the question of what is the identity of a väliseestlane or an eestlane who grew up in the States, and having a place to kind of foster that identity was very important. So even physically being able to tell American friends, say, I'm going to a place to learn Estonian today. I think that was probably a pretty formative thing in making me, my sisters, and all of our other classmates feel a sense of other, which I think was really important in all of our development, to feel that, hey, no, this is my community outside of my regular American community, and this is a special thing, and not a lot of people understand it. And having a physical space for it was really something. I mean, spending like 12 years there, however long I went to Segakoor there, I mean, we'd spend every day like just exploring all these nooks and crannies, probably kind of dangerous places we shouldn't have been, but that's what made it special.
Yeah. No, I hear you. You know, and I totally understand. You know, like I grew up väliseestlane as well, right? So, you know, it was like we had this sort of secret code language that we were able to use amongst ourselves, and you know, I mean, I grew up in Japan, and you know, I thought Estonian was just our family's secret code language that we could use amongst ourselves, until I heard somebody else speaking it, and I was like, how do they know our code? You know? So
yeah, that's exactly how I've described it to American friends. Kind of.
Where did the painting start? Where did the artwork start?
I guess like a lot of other folks that draw and paint, you're just one of those kids who's always doodling, and people kind of take notice of it. And I really have to credit a lot of my artistic exploration to Segakoor on Long Island, where we had access to a massive range of different artistic media. So being able to do things such as wood carving, wood burning, we obviously have like art every single day, and that makes it leaves a mark, because when you're that young and you have that much creative freedom and you're encouraged and pushed into situations where you're doing something uncomfortable, even like I don't know if a lot of American camps probably wouldn't fly, but giving kids like 200 degrees 200-degree rods of metal and telling them to burn wood, you feel a sense of pride in being able to like use something that dangerous. How much joy we had in creating was really cool. But after that, my Varblane was just having a conversation with somebody once who mentioned they were a painting instructor. So when I was in middle school, and she got me signed up for these painting classes, painting lessons, and from there I just never really stopped. That's cool. That's the story. And it was always an ambition to paint murals. So once I had the opportunity to do that, I was in South America, the only place where you can be a completely unproven 22-year-old and say, "Oh, hey, can I paint that wall?" And so he's like, "All right, sure, go for it."
So you're working in oil, you're doing murals, you're doing oil and canvas. You work with other mediums?
Yeah, well, actually, the one in the auction is a paper cutout. So I use an X-Acto knife and cut out, 3 different pages. So I also do some work with plasticine. So it's kind of a 3-dimensional form, I suppose. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like adding a clay-like substance on top of a canvas or some sort of board. So it's kind of like a sculptural painting.
Right.
But most recent change in what I do comes from these performances that my girlfriend and I do, where the mural I just painted was done with her choreographing a dance that happened in front of a mural, and I outlined the shadows of the dancers, and we did that in real time in front of an audience. So it's kind of blending performance art with 2D art, and that's a new development.
Cool. Yeah, that's an interesting development too. Sort of. Yeah. Wow. Well, you've been so generous with your time. I don't want to take too much of it, but I want to thank you for the interview, and I want to thank you for your donation to. It's a great, wonderful cause, and we're trying to get a lot more young people involved in the whole Väliharf thing. So hopefully, people see you and are encouraged and and are inspired by you, and I think you're certainly an inspiration to a lot of us in this realm. So,
Andy, and maybe enough people donate, we can start an Enveresti cells.
There you go, and that when is the Maya, a place to go and explore. Markus Puskar. That was a fun interview. He's a really nice guy and very talented. And his item he donated is in the auction. So please bid on that. Take home some original Estonian art. Everybody needs a wall to cover. See, I collect art. I have art. Art keeps you human. So up next, we has a video about 2 Estonian girls who do woodworking, Heli Raidma and her sister Liivi Sharp. Now, wood burning is an old Estonian tradition, and it was passed down from their grandfather and from their mother. Check out this video. We can learn some more. And I'm back. Woodworking, pretty cool stuff. And you can visit their store. There's a link on our website at ESTO site. So check it out there. And all the items that are up for auction are on there. There's a lot of stuff there. So please go to estosite.org, ESTO RAISER, and see what's available and what we are doing. And we're raising money for a good cause. You know, it's Eesti Majad that nurtured us and made us who we are today. You know, all of us have spent a lot of great times at Eesti Majad, at Eesti owned pieces of property like Järvemetsa. We had the Estonians in California had a piece of property, and we used to go up there, and so this is formative stuff. So, you know, we had it, and the next generation should also benefit from the wonders of Eesti Majad and Estonian places to go and hang out with other Estonians. So now, up next, you still with me? Of course you are. Get out that credit card. Go and donate some money. It's a very good thing. You can bid on Markus's dancer. I said that. Okay, great. Now let's take a little trip back to Eesti, where we're going to be greeted by the world-renowned and Grammy-winning Tallinna Filharmonia Kammerkoor, the Tallinn Philharmonic Chamber Choir, directed by Tõnu Kaljuste.
Hello, my name is Esper Linnamägi and I am the Managing Director of the Estonian Philharmonic Chamber Choir, which is one of the most well-known professional classical music ensembles in Estonia and the winner of the Gramophone Classical Music Award and 2 Grammy Awards. Regarding our concert tours in USA, the Estonian Philharmonic Chamber Choir has in the past made collaboration with Estonian houses in the USA as excellent places to share cultural experiences and connections. We would like to thank the organizer of the auction, the Estonian American National Council, for the opportunity to participate in this event, and also Diina for your help. The Estonian Philharmonic Chamber Choir would like to welcome you all with some music videos reflecting our performances and Estonian music.
Incredible voices. Incredible, incredible, incredible. Estonians, that's what we do. We sing. You know, we do it. I remember the first time I went to Laulupidu in Tallinn, and just, you know, just the sheer emotion of hearing 25,000 people on stage, the opening number, singing the national anthem. It brings a tear to your eye. It's really hard to explain. And the emotion that, you know, runs through you, and everywhere. I know, you know, I hosted a thing in Amsterdam where a bunch of Estonians got together that lived in Holland and Belgium and England, and they all came together to sing. And there's another event that happens down in Germany, in Bonn, where people, they just magically get together once or twice a year and they sing. That's what they do. I think that's why the Russians left. They just said, we got to go. The singing is driving me crazy. I'm kidding. No, we did sing our way to freedom. That's what we do. So that was, by the way, they were talking a lot about Yanni Kuu and Yanni Bab and stuff, like songs like that. There's really no place more beautiful in the world than summertime in Estonia. Long nights, just stays light forever. It's beautiful. It's green. It's just, it's magical. It's truly magical. And here's another segue, because the land is beautiful. And luckily, many of the Estonian communities in the US have their own land as well. And we have this tradition. We get outside, we light a big fire, it's jaanipäev, and we get together, and we do this all over the US and the different pieces of property owned by Estonians. And for 50 years, the Estonian grounds in Connecticut, known affectionately as Connecticut'i Eestimaa, has hosted the midsummer festivities. Check this out.
Eestimaa on Connecticuti väliseestlaste põhikogunemiskoht. Jaanipäev, metsa jõulupidu, suvepäevad, Eesti kool ja kõik Connecticuti Eesti kogunemised toimuvad seal. Minu jaoks Eestimaa oli meie väike tükk Eestit ning seal mälestusi parasjagu. Võrkpall, ujumine jões, skauditegevused, laulmine lõhke ümber ja 1000 muud mälestust ka.
Connecticut's Estonian grounds are a special place for Estonians to gather. Whether we're playing games, singing by the campfire, or practicing traditional Estonian dance, the Eestimaa helps us all feel connected to our fatherland.
Where's my Zoom? Where's my Zoom? Where's my Zoom? I'm back. It's getting so, I'm clicking on things and I'm losing things. So just, it's late. What can I tell you? It's late, but it's been so much fun. So much of this videos and it just reminds me of growing up and how all these people, you know, made all this possible. Eestimajad, Eestimaa, all this kind of stuff, you know. This is who we are. This is how we kept the dream alive all these years. So now Coming up next, the folk music duo of Valev Laube and Charlie Rauh and dancer Diina Tamm performed at the Connecticut Estonian grounds in August for an Estonians of Estonians, Latvians, Lithuanians, and celebrating the 30th anniversary of the restored independence of all three of our nations, or certainly our nation. Great stuff. Really, really, really great. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Valev, Laube, and Charlie Rauh. And not only is he a great violinist, that was an original piece, by the way, the 10th game, but he's also doing all the video for this whole thing and dealing with people like me who have no idea what we're doing with the video, and he's very patient. So a huge thank you to Valev, Laube, and also to Charlie for that great music that they performed, and for running this entire evening. Would not have been possible without his technical expertise. So from this, we segue now. We're going to the New York Eesti Maja, and we're going to do a little video there. And it's the home base of our next performers. And Kristi Roosmaa is very active in the Eesti Maja there. And so let's check this out.
Let's take a moment and talk about the auction and what is the goal of it. So the goal of the auction is to create a fund that supports Estonian houses renovations, restorations, and repair work. Now, I've had an honor to perform in most of the Estonian houses all across the states. And even though they're all very different, there's something that is common to all of them. And that is that it always feels like being at home. I think we're so lucky and privileged to have that many homes where we get to embrace our culture and heritage and celebrate that we have to take care of our homes, not just for ourselves, but for the future generations. So let's keep bidding and donating and take care of our homes.
See, she said it too. Keep bidding, keep donating, because these Eesti Maja, they're all part of who we are. We grew up there. We learned how to do folk dances there. We learned how to sing there. We learned our Eesti Täienduskool there. We learned what it means to be Estonian. And these are the places that made it possible. You know, the early Estonian houses, it was just our folks who, you know, worked 9 to 5, 5 days a week. And then on weekends, built Estonian houses and donated time and money and made it happen. So let's keep this going. Go to our auction site, keep bidding, and let's raise some money. You know, we could use a fund. We need to keep this thing going. So next, we're going to hear from the vice president of the Eesti Rahvuskomitee Ühendriikides, or the vice president of the Estonian American National Council. It's also her wedding anniversary. So we're going to say happy wedding anniversary to Mailis Bartling.
Greetings from California. Tervitused Californiast. I am Mailis Bartling. I'm a member of the Estonian American National Council and serve on its board. Why do I do this? Because I believe that within the ecosystem of Estonian American organizations, there's a unique role for a national organization that represents Estonian American interests. For 70 years, the EANC has filled this role, being a voice in Washington for Baltic security, sitting at the table with Estonians from across the globe, discussing diaspora issues, such as maintaining the Estonian language and culture in our communities here, providing financial assistance to local Estonian organizations and to cultural projects, large and small. And EANC has evolved in response to today's needs. We have a board that's diverse in age, geography, and perspective. And I, for one, am looking forward to what we can do next. So please support us, come join us. Thank you.
Thanks, Mylise. Mylise is a friend of mine. She lives in San Francisco area, and that's kind of where I used to be from. We're going to give back again a little bit. Let's do the big raffle wheel because it's fun. It's really cool, great technology, and there's that organ music. So this is for a big box of Valev chocolates. Karl Grabbi wins the chocolate. You saw Karl earlier. He was, he's involved with the Estonian House in Chicago. And so Karl Herbert Grabbi gets the chocolate. Pretty good deal, not bad. And we've got one more, oh, we got one more spin. Okay, apparently my producer likes the spinning thing. So we're gonna do one more spin of the thing. And what are we up? More chocolate. So Valev chocolate from Estonia. You ready? Are we going to do this? Okay. Lina Melanie Sarapik has won a box of Valev chocolates from Estonia. I love chocolate. I really do. I could do some chocolate right about now. It would be really good. Lina Melanie Sarapik and Karl Herbert Grabbi win some chocolates. Very good on you guys. Well, I think we are just about rolling to a close here. How do we begin to thank everybody? How do we begin to say thank you for donating stuff to the auction, for your time, for being here and watching these videos, and for participating. I want to thank Leelo Linask, who's been my producer for this whole show and has been feeding me information so that I don't look lost and silly. I want to thank Valev Laube, who has done all the videos and put this together and also performed. And it's so great to see that the younger people are getting involved and doing this. There are countless other names. I want to thank the Estonian American National Committee, Eesti Rahvuskomitee Ühendriikides, for putting this whole thing together. We're Estonians. We hang together. We have Eesti Majad. The Eesti Majad need to live on into the future so that kids who are young right now know what it's like to be a guide, know what it's like to be a scout, know what it's like to go to Järvemetsa, to Lakewood, to hang out and try to sneak across into the girls' camp. I mean, come on, these are formative experiences. So, and to be girl guides and to learn how to rahva dance and to learn to speak Estonian. That's what Estonian houses do. That's the place where we are reminded of who we are and where we come from. It's been my pleasure to host this. It is now, it's 5:05 in the morning here in the south of France. I raise a glass to all of you. Suur tänu. Mul oli nii hea meel siin olla. The raffle and the auction is still open. It ends tomorrow at 7 p.m. So go bid on these items. They're the Tallinna Philharmonia choir. They've got CDs there you can bid on. There's artwork to bid on, all kinds of stuff. Support the Eesti Majad. It's a good thing for all of us. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Tervist. And we'll see you at the next ESTO RAISER.
Never forget who you are. Don't let time's arrow change you. Never forget who you are, so you can always stay true. The good and the bad, it's all that we have to stop us from repeating the path we have tread. So never forget, they hold the key to your heart. The road that we choose could mean we can lose. So look deep within to win. These actions we take determine our fate. The choices we make stamp history's dead. Never forget who you are. Don't let time's arrow change you. Never forget who you are, so you can always stay true. Ära sai alusta, mis on su kalleim vara. Kodumaa armastus jahus, nendeta pole lootus. Never forget who you are. Don't let time's arrow change you. Never forget who you are, so you can always stay true. Never forget who you are. Don't let time's arrow change you. Never forget who you are, so you can always stay, always stay, always stay true. Stay true. Ooh, stay true.
Our country is a place that craves for freedom once again. The torture and the fighting needs to end here for all men. To our homes, and to our work, and to each other. We owe it to ourselves to join together hand in hand. Our past is what strengthens and ties us firmly to this land. To our homes, and to our work, and to each other. Most of all, oh Estonia, may you live forever in our hearts until the day we see
before. What if we let our wildest dreams awaken once again? We had some faith and trusted this was more than just pretend. For our homes, for our work, and for each other, the liberty could grow out of the things we thought were dead. And fear put to the fire made us stronger within. To our home, to our fear, and to each other, but most of all, oh Estonia, may you live